Well, Ethan, you know what they say. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me right back in.
They pull me right back in.
And here we are. We've been pulled back in underneath the undertow. This is episode 21 of the Grunge Bible podcast. Thank you all for joining us today. We are recording this on Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. Ethan, how's your Wednesday?
So far, the hump day has been going well. 3 days down of work. I've been toiling away the last couple weeks trying to, procure some income, some money to have. So that's been good. It's always nice when you work out. It's been hot. It was really hot last week, and this week it's bbeen a little bit cooler. Actually, it was like 65 this morning, I think.
Ooh, that's right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, so for those who are listening, I do some tree work. I usually end up doing some manual labor during the summer, so we're outside most of the day, so it's nice when it's breezy and cool. But yeah, it's not bad. How about your Wednesday, Chris? How are you?
Yeah, today's pretty standard issue. This has been a good week so far. I feel pretty good. What's up?
I was just actually, you know what it is? I do find myself a little more tired, and I know why, because so the Olympics are going on right now. Me and Chris, we were talking about it, and we're going to talk about it more, but it's obviously happening in Tokyo, so they are 13 hours ahead of us.
I think somewhere in that realm. It's a significant chunk, yeah.
It's 12 hours, so they compete in the morning at night for them, which turns out to be for us like between 8 and 10 o'clock, or 8 and 11 o'clock at night, and then they
their mornings are our nights, and their nights are our mornings.
So we are staying up late and then waking up at 6 a.m. to watch these various events that we love, and I know that we've talked about it. It's a perfect schedule. It's amazing. So I think I'm getting tired because I'm staying up later and waking up earlier and just expending energy to like pay attention to these events.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because I know I've had a couple of the weightlifting weight classes for the weightlifting competitions, and they'll step onto the platform at like 4:55 in the morning local time, or I guess East Coast US time, and it's like, oh shit, like I kind of want to get up for that, but it's like you were just up until 11:30 watching the the prelims of the 400 meter hurdles and track and field, and it's just it's always the funny thing for me, and this goes for this thing, and just life in general. It is always shocking to me when I am tired after getting minimal sleep. It's like I don't learn my lesson, and it's like I'll burn the candle at both ends and be like, why is there no candle left to burn? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, why am I so tired? I do everything right.
We do everything right. But honestly, I feel pretty good. I would expect that I would be more tired. Check back with me in a week, though. So I've got a normal work week going on. I'm running a half marathon this weekend, but additionally, I have some business decisions I have to make, Ethan. Friday, the day this podcast will drop, Modest Mouse is playing in Boston. I feel like I need to go. So that's Friday night. It's like an hour and a half away. And then I'm supposed to run I'm running a half marathon on Sunday, which would be, I think, August 8th. But then Sunday night, I think a lot of people listening are going to give me shit for this, but the Counting Crows are also playing. They're playing in Boston on Sunday night. So I have some decisions.
Holy shit, you could have a weekend.
I could have myself a weekend, man. So I don't have tickets to either show yet. I only have the half marathon, which I've paid to do. So I'm trying to figure out. I think I should do both of them, right?
I think so too. I mean, they've been on your radar for a long time, correct?
Yeah, and you never know, man.
You never know, and they're only. I mean, I guess bands do get better later, but like they're as young as they'll ever be. So if you're gonna get some, I don't know. And it's after a COVID year of no touring, they could be really jacked up and ready to tour. I think you ought to pull the trigger. The problem is, would you be doing these both alone? Do you think you can get some?
I think it's too
somebody
late.
In?
It might be too late. But additionally, they're like the same band in the sense that, from what I've read, both Isaac Brock and Adam Duritz, to put it one way, are very inconsistent. It's like the Forrest Gump box of chocolates type situation going on. You don't know, which Isaac Brock or which Adam Duritz you're gonna get. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they're the youngest they'll ever be, and I'm the youngest I'll ever be. So the clock's ticking. I feel like a trigger needs to be pulled for both of these. So I'll be interested check back next week on episode 22 if I decide to go to one, both, or neither.
I'm putting money on at least one show. I'm banking.
Which one do you think
show.
I would go to?
I don't know if I want to sway you one way or
my
not.
Opinion.
But my guess would be you'd go. That's tough, because I'm trying to think if you would want to preserve your energy and go to the concert after, or if you'd be too dead after a marathon.
Well, that's my dilemma. I think I'll feel okay after the half marathon. I think I'll feel pretty good. So
yeah, I think that you'd probably run better, obviously, if you didn't go to a concert the day before.
But maybe
the concert would just be indoors.
Me.
Yeah, but then again, exactly. It all depends. Maybe the venue has something to do with it too. But.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to check in with that. But as you said, in the spirit of the Olympics, I think there's no better time than now than to. We're gonna get into the Grunge Olympics today.
Let's do it.
I'm excited for that, but before we hop into that, we have a very special announcement. So as you all know by now, this podcast is brought to you directly by our top-level supporters on Patreon, and we have a new member of that faction. So we want to shout out.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's great. We want to shout out an individual named Sue, who after last week's podcast episode decided to join the cause. So Sue, I raise my glass to you. Thank you so much. And Sue is joining Release, Jade Mercado, Sonny Mashburn, Alexis Shannon, Victor Schaefer, and Shannon Gorgon. So our top level tier now has 7 individuals that are a part of it. So to you 7, thank you as always, and welcome aboard, Sue. I'm hopeful and I'm grateful for your support, and I'm hopeful that you're enjoying the podcast, and we hope to keep bringing it to you every single week. We have more people in the fold now, so the pressure's on. We can't disappoint anybody.
I know. This episode is dedicated to Sue. Then
this is all about Sue. So I hope Sue likes this episode.
Yeah, so do I. I wonder what Sue's favorite band is.
I don't know.
If you had to guess, what would you guess?
I think Sue might be a Stone Temple Pilots girl.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that, the recent episode?
Yeah, we had a recent episode about Scott and about the Stone Temple Pilots. So maybe that was what pushed the ball over the goal line. She was like, you know what? Now is the time to support the Grunge
Finally,
Bible
they
podcast.
did STP. I'm in.
We've been waiting for a long time.
That's incredible. Thank you again, everybody. All 7 of you. The Magnificent 7. So
absolutely.
All right. So, yes, we are in the middle of the actual Tokyo Olympics, but we're going to do something. We're just going to kind of attach bands and members of our favorite bands and to what event we think they should be a part of, right? Or how are we going to do this, Chris?
Yeah, so this is basically the episode that everybody needs that nobody knew that they needed. I mean, it's topical. Hopefully it will be interesting. And we got to strike while the iron's hot. I mean, the Olympics come around once every 4 years. The Summer Olympics, at least. I personally am not the biggest proponent of the Winter Olympics, but Summer Olympics, right up my alley, obviously. Well, I'm a retired track and field athlete. You are currently a track and field athlete. So this is the pinnacle of the sport that we've, dedicated a lot of our time to. So nice little crossover episode. So we've got a list of the sports that are contended at the Summer Olympics, and basically it's kind of like a fantasy draft in the sense that, Ethan, I think we need to have some discussion, within each discipline, within each athletic event, and we can draft a member of Grunge lore and decide which one is going to compete in that event.
Is this a one and done draft? We can't use, we can't do.
See, I can go back and forth on that because that's the thing. Like, there's definitely some people out there that can wear many hats. I think we could try to avoid it, but if one comes up that it's a match, I mean,
people switch events in the Olympics.
It's been done before. I mean, you have like Lolo Jones doing the bobsled, and then being a very prodigious hurdler. So I mean, we can do whatever we want. And not only that, if Lane Staley's good at archery and swimming, then I mean, he might as well compete at both, right? Fuck it.
Yep, exactly.
So,
all right, let's do it. Give me the first round.
So the first round, I think we need to draft at least one, maybe a couple basketball players, and I have a pick that I already know who would be on my Olympic basketball team.
Okay, all right, I have one as well, and it's You go first though, because you brought this in. So who is your first pick for the Team USA? Are we doing Team USA?
This is his country of origin, so I guess Team USA, and that would be bass guitarist Jeff Ament. I am selecting Jeff.
Shit.
Yeah, I select Jeff Ament.
Amazing.
The sole reason he's a big basketball fan, and I'd like to hope that some of that fandom can manifest itself into actual skill. I know the Pearl Jam guys way back in the day used to play pickup basketball all the time, but I don't think I can draft Eddie Vedder since I believe Ed is only about 5 feet 7 inches tall. I don't know if Jeff's much taller, but I feel like Jeff has some tenacity. You know, I mean, Jeff would play some great defense. I could see him as like a point guard. You know, distributing the ball. Got a real high IQ for the game. So I'd plug Jeff in to build the rest of my offense around. What about you? That. So you have one locked in already, huh?
Yeah. As soon as you said it, I actually thought that I was going to pick the same person you were. And it's not almost, but we almost did, because mine is also a bass player, and it's got to be Chris Novoselic.
Oh my goodness,
Nirvana.
The height.
I mean, the man is 6'7". He absolutely has the energy and the tenacity, the way that he plays and throws his body around. I think he'd be excellent at boxing people out. He'd be really dangerous underneath. I have a feeling that he'd be really bad at free throws. So
it doesn't matter though.
Well, yeah, that's why he's my center.
Instead of Hack a Shaq, you have Hack a Chris.
Yeah, Hack a Selleck. So I just think that he could. I mean, his height is I don't really know of anybody in the grunge scene that's taller than.
Well, now
6'7",
that you mention
right?
it, though, I think so. We both picked bass players. I think we should just fill out the roster, because there must be something about bass players. Because I could see Ben Shepard dominating the low post. I could just see it. I mean, the way he played his bass guitar, like way down at his ankles, just flailing around. Like, he's the kind of guy that you send in to energize your team. Like, he's gonna foul out within
defensive player,
4 minutes of game time, but it doesn't matter. You got to play that hard nosed defense, and I think Ben Shepard would be another guy.
I mean, let's be real. That is, if you had to pick, a position for, I don't know, grunge music to embody, it's the defensive player, the rebounder, the high energy, and probably the chippy player who who has some experience in the mosh pits at Lollapalooza and Pink Popper and stuff 100%. Like that. They're used to body on body sweat, drinking the sweat of others. So it's that position.
I think the one person we would have to have coming off the bench, it would have to be Mark Arm. You imagine you're down by like 7 in the fourth quarter, and you need a spark. Maybe somebody. I think Mark could probably stroke it from 3. You send him in there. He's playing some good defense. He's talking some trash with the opponents, with the refs, with whoever. It doesn't matter. And I think
teammates
be a real spark plug of a player there. I think those are some really good basketball players. I don't know if any of them have any actual physical skill, but it doesn't matter at that point.
Then have Mookie Blaylock as the coach.
We need to bring him out of basketball retirement. I think that would be a fantastic idea. The next sport that I have, which I believe was recently reinstated to the summer games, is baseball. America's national pastime. I'm a big baseball fan, and my selection for a baseball player, and this is actually backed up with historical accuracy, would be Mark Lanigan. So in Mark Lanigan's memoir, he grew up in rural Washington, and apparently he was a pretty talented baseball player. I guess he was a pitcher, and he was really talented. And I guess in his words, if he had been into the whole school thing, I guess maybe he could have played college ball somewhere. But I just like Mark Lanigan is an intimidating individual to me, and I think to a lot of people. I mean, you imagine stepping up to the plate, and you just see Mark Lanigan on the mound, like peering over his glove with the death eyes, staring at you, getting ready to pitch to you. That would be a scary sight.
Yeah, he could be a pretty nasty pitcher. I think that would be pretty good. A closer, maybe.
Oh yeah.
For my baseball player, I'm gonna go. It's a little left. It's a little left or right field or whatever. But because I have in fact seen him play live, and I know that he also has music out, so I'm picking Bronson Arroyo.
Is that cheating?
I don't know.
He's a 20-year Major League veteran.
But he's played with Pearl Jam, and he has his own solo music.
He does, and he came out with a cover album full of grunge songs.
Yeah, so
you know what?
He has to fit the bill to be able to be drafted. I mean, I know he didn't grow up in Seattle. Well, did he grow up in Seattle?
Doesn't matter. Who gives a shit where he grew up? He's a grunge artist apparently, and he's a hell of a baseball pitcher.
He played with Pearl Jam.
He's played with Pearl Jam multiple times.
Yeah,
I can't say
Bronson.
that.
Yeah, I'm going Bronson Arroyo.
The 1-2 punch. Bronson Arroyo gives you 8 shutout innings, and then Mark Lanigan comes in to close it out. That would be a day for the record books. That's, you know what? I was initially inclined to say that that's cheating, but I don't care. That would be amazing.
I mean, it's pretty good. And if I think if you want me to go more traditional, I think I would actually, since you picked Mark Arman and I was thinking about intimidating pictures, I would pick Kim
Kim
Thile
from Soundgarden, Kim Thile, yeah.
Thile, yeah. I'd pick, and I would as well. I think that he would be a closing pitcher because he'd come out with the long hair, as most pitchers do, and maybe him and Mark could be pitcher and catcher, and they would just switch gloves and then go to the mound and the plate.
I think that's a good strategy. So moving on to the next sport, I have one, and I have never been more sure of a decision in this exercise, and that is weightlifting. So the snatch and the clean and jerk. I want to hear if there's anybody that comes to mind first for you, but I think there is a 90s rock musician out there who I think would be the perfect weightlifter.
Let me think. All right. I have one that came to my mind right away, but I'm not sure how good he would be. This is tough. I was going to say Buzz Osborne.
That's exactly who I was going to say, because you can't mess with the king, and King Buzzo, I think he steps up there. He gets a hold of that bar, and I don't think he's dropping that weight.
But you know who else I would pick? And who I would also, I think Buzz Osborne would be an excellent, but then also Tad Doyle.
That is incredible.
You can just picture. I mean, I just pulled him up because he's a pretty husky lad himself.
He is, yeah. He would be in the 109 kilogram weight class. Giving Lasha a run for his money there, trying to break that world record. Yeah, I think Tad Doyle would probably. I mean, Tad Doyle. There's a good chance that he's probably the strongest musician, to come from Seattle, because I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, like Chris Cornell is not going to step up there and be able to clean and jerk, 300 pounds, for example. I mean, Tad Doyle, I mean, you put him up there, you get him in a groove there. Exactly. I mean, that man, I think he'd be the one. I feel.
You like that pick? I think that's a good pick.
I'm willing to supplant King Buzzo for Tad Doyle in this instance.
I'm trying to. Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. I just looked up Tad Doyle and I was going to put in weight, but then weightlifting came up. Is this real?
Is he actually a weightlifter? We're doing some real time here. See, if we had an in studio producer, this is where we would check to them.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Probably not. Probably just my phone. Just
maybe somebody else has done the same exercise and they've tabbed Tad to be the resident weightlifter amongst.
We're gonna check back in. Yeah, we'll check back in if I can find something about Tad Doyle's bench press. I think my phone was just over listening to our conversation and it just
probably
filled it in.
So, growing up in the United States, I think one of the Olympic events that has been in the national consciousness, certainly during the era with which we grew up in the mid 2000s and late 2000s, has got to be swimming, obviously, with Michael Phelps and the run that he went on, I think in 2000, 2004, 08, and then 2012. So in terms of swimming, I think there's one obvious choice, and it's the man who goes into the flood again, right?
Oh yeah,
I think it's got to be Lane Staley. I could see him, maybe some freestyle or maybe some backstroke action going on, and it's the same old trip. I mean, swimming is a repetitive motion. Technique matters, and I mean, you're jumping into the flood again. I don't think it gets any more simple than that.
That's pretty solid. I was thinking Lane. For like, for some reason I was possibly thinking a sprinting event or a distance event. Like I felt like, I was thinking track and field, but
Okay.
I do like the pick for swimming. My swimmer, I was thinking about this, and this was another person I might want to use for one of the more obscure sports in the Olympics. But I think that the first person that came to my mind was Billy Corgan.
You think Billy Corgan could hop into the water, huh?
Yes, because I'm picturing him, because swimmers they wear caps so they can.
He already has a shaved head.
Yeah, he already has a shaved head.
This would be post Siamese dream Billy Corgan, obviously. Gish Corgan would not cut it.
That's exactly right. And I just think that he could be, he's kind of slick in his ways, and I feel like he could move through the water the same way. So
yeah,
I have to go with Billy Corgan.
I think you're right there. If we could get Lane and Billy together, on our swim team, I think we'd have a tremendous amount of success. Speaking of, events that are in the national consciousness here in the United States, another one would be gymnastics, obviously. And I think the low-hanging fruit, in terms of who the resident gymnast would be,
Is Eddie.
would be Eddie Vedder, obviously, because of his
I think that fits.
his theatrics. I think that was a strong candidate. I don't know how he would do on the beam, but or the floor routine, but uneven bars. Ed, that's got Ed's name written all over it. He practiced in front of hundreds of thousands of people, in the early 1990s during Porch. So, what better time than the Olympics to get those skills back out into the world.
Yeah, that's a good one. And trying to think of anybody else that was notorious for stage diving from the era.
Nobody like Eddie.
Yeah. So Ed, the tumbling and he could do a great floor routine, I feel.
I think so.
So yeah, and he's small like a gymnast in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, his height would not be an issue for him because gymnastics is obviously not lent to those of the taller stature. Like I can't see Chris Cornell hopping on the beam, for example. That's probably not going to happen. But I think that one's pretty simple. In the Olympics how they have competition shooting, marksmanship. There's two individuals that I think fit the bill for this one. The first would be Jason Everman, who was the only person who was in both Soundgarden and Nirvana. He had stints in both of those bands in the early 1990s, and he was actually pictured on the cover of Bleach for Nirvana. But the reason why I pick him is because after his music career ended, he actually went into the military and served in the military and the special forces for a number of years. So obviously, I'm assuming that marksmanship is a skill of his. The other person who I would pick, and there's a little bit of a backstory behind this, I'm putting Dave Abruzzese on the team.
I love that.
And for those Pearl Jam connoisseurs, if you're a fan of deep cuts, from Pearl Jam, the song Glorified G. And that song stemmed from a conversation that Eddie Vedder had with Dave Abruzzese, where Dave Abruzzese apparently had purchased a gun, and Eddie was like, "What the fuck, man? You bought a gun?" And he was like, "Fact, I got two of them." So, you get the opening lyrics, got a gun, fact, I got two. So apparently Dave Abruzzese, at least at the time, was an enthusiast of firearms. So I think that would be a strong 1-2 punch in that category.
That's good. Two really strong picks. If I were to pick somebody, for some reason, like I said, just gut reaction, I feel like because of precision and what he does, both on the guitar and with his lyrics, I think that Jerry Cantrell could be super calm up on the stage and be able to deliver some bullseyes. I don't really know why. I just feel like the precision would be there, and he'd be calm, cool, and collected. So I think Jerry Cantrell could be there.
If there's somebody who I had to pick to represent my team in every single event,
he's the team captain.
It would be Jerry Cantrell. He's so versatile.
I think he's Team USA captain. I think they don't always pick the top, maybe the top athlete that's going to bring home all the goals, but they pick the people that have been there before, who've seen it all, and who's calm under pressure. Who handles themselves incredibly well.
He's got an unwavering hand.
Yeah, let's be honest. He represents grunge and the scene as I mean, he's one of the best.
Better than almost anybody else.
Yeah. He is a perfect example.
I think we're officially going to vote him
team captain,
Grunge Olympics team captain. So Ethan, I've been saving the track and field events for last because obviously, I was a hammer thrower and you are a javelin thrower. So I think now is the time that we can get into our favorite area of athletic competition, and that would be track and field. So let's start with the high jump, because I've got somebody who I think would be quite the high jumper, provided that they keep their hair up and the hair's not gonna pull the bar over. Okay. And that would be Chris Cornell.
Okay.
I think Chris Cornell.
My gut.
I mean, he's got the high jump build. Something tells me I think he'd be able to really get some good technique there and good lean into the bar.
Doesn't he always wear boots though? Do you think he
that might be a limiting factor? The combat boots,
combat boots,
and the baggy cargo shorts. But he is without a shirt too. So maybe we're gonna have to do something about the uniform, because that's obviously not gonna cut it. So if we can convince him to get into some high jump spikes, I think the sky is the limit there. I could see him instantly make him into a 7-foot high jumper. He could probably get over 2 meters 20. Within a short time. I just have some confidence in him.
That's good. I like that. I don't really have anybody else that comes to my mind immediately. Chris was the first one that I thought of. I was like, I had the same idea, kind of similar build where it would just work. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that too. Yeah, I think that's good.
What about another event that is on my mind, because last night we were able to watch Sydney McLaughlin set a new world record in the 400-meter hurdles. Yes. Is there anybody that comes to mind who you would draft to be your 400-meter hurdler?
And the Norwegian the other night,
that's true. Back-to-back nights.
Carson Warholm and Sydney McLaughlin breaking world records in absolute stunning form. That's definitely the event of athletics so far.
Yes,
obviously.
Yeah.
So totally. As far as Grunge Olympics, 400-meter hurdles. See, this one, I think I kind of said it earlier. This is the one I think that Lane would be really good at.
You think so?
I think that Lane would, or like maybe you do like steeplechase or something too. But I don't know. I think he'd be a good kind of good endurance runner. Which I know 400-meter hurdles isn't that quite endurance, but
it's got a high lactate threshold. He'd be able to
And it's like a super ballsy event. Like it's such a 400-meter hurdles is such a hard event to run.
Totally.
And I think that Lane would be the only one when asked to do that in high school. Like who's going to run it? He would be the only one that said I'll do it. So I think that he has the gusto to do that event, or I don't know.
I think that's a good call. Somebody who I believe would be right for the task. This is a little bit outside of the realm of grunge. I think more grunge adjacent, but that would be Kim Gordon of Sonic Youth. I just think Kim's got the perfect combination. Everything that you would need, and like you said, you have to have some gusto to get into the 400 hurdles. I mean, the 400-meter sprint is a tough enough event on its own, and then when you add the hurdle aspect to it, I think Kim is a very confident, collected individual, and I think she'd be able to toe the line with the best of them for the 400-meter hurdles.
Yeah, and her obviously Sonic Youth has, I think, the correct band
and the connotations of speed going on.
Yes,
there.
exactly. Yeah. So I think that's a great pick.
Yeah. I would agree with that. So we've done the high jump. What about the pole vault?
Yeah, again, I mean, first thought, not being afraid of heights. Eddie would be a good one. He's a little short, so let me think.
Yeah, this is a tough one because obviously,
or Cornell could be a good pole vaulter. I feel
because the pole vault. I mean, it's such a unique event, and in my opinion, I think. Two of the most technical events in track and field would be the pole vault and then the hammer throw. I think with the javelin throw shortly behind that. I mean, it's got so many elements to it. That fearlessness aspect. just general athleticism, speed, acceleration, core strength. So that leads me to the core strength aspect. Kind of leads me down the avenue of the bassists, obviously. With just especially you got someone like Ben Shepard. The way that he held his bass. I mean, his core had to have gotten strong over that time period. But I just don't know if he has what it takes.
Mm-hmm. You know who I think does have what it takes though?
Who's that?
Matt Cameron.
Matt Cameron. You know what? Honestly, I think Matt Cameron is our pole vaulter because
I don't know why, but at the end, there's I just think that he has incredible endurance and speed, and his coordination obviously is going to be incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, you're exactly right. This is perfect because you figure the pole vault. I mean, the attention to detail. Same thing with drumming. I mean, you're choreographing the entire thing. I mean, you're a part of that battery there with the bassist. I mean, nothing happens without you, and you have to attack it. And honestly, when you're sitting you're sitting on the bandstand behind those drums. I mean, that is a physically demanding exercise, and I mean, Matt's been doing it for 35 years for 3 hours a night, 300 nights a year. You know what?
You use your legs, use your arms, your chest, everything's involved, and I think pole vault is exactly that. It uses so many different things, so it makes sense. There's no other way to put it. It just Matt Cameron is a pole vaulter in another world. Absolutely.
I think you're right. I like that pick a lot because I wasn't sure where to go with that one, but I think Matt Cameron's our guy for the pole vault.
Yeah.
I would love to find out if any of these individuals did any of the Olympic events recreationally, like in high school or something. I imagine some of them must have had to. In their youth. I mean, just like everybody, I think most people, at least in the States, probably grow up having played or experimented with a sport at some time. So let's move in. I think we've been field event heavy, but I don't care because we're field event guys. I have 2 picks for the shot put, and and they're both they would be able to move their mass into the ball to be able to get some good throws in. And they're actually the Connor brothers from the Screaming Trees. I mean, those guys, those are some big dudes. They were able to move their weight around the stage, get some big sounds out of their instruments. And I think you put them in the circle. I think they would be gliders. I don't know if they would rotate. Throw it back, maybe 20, 30 years, which would be topical, because the Trees were obviously at their height in the early 90s when there were still some notable shot put gliders that were around. So I think I would pick the Connor brothers for the shot put.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
I mean, the other choice would obviously be Tad Doyle.
Tad Doyle. Yeah, I was going to say, I think Tad Doyle would double up. Maybe Buzz Osborne could do it. I'm trying to think if there's somebody else that really sticks out. I was thinking maybe Chris because he was so tall.
Yeah. Chris might be a good discus thrower because he's got those long levers. I mean, his arms. I mean, standing there, his arms would fall all the way down to below his knees. So I mean, that would be potentially a good event for him. Somebody who we haven't given an event yet to.
Well, there's a few. I just thought of another one. I thought of Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. We haven't. Dave Grohl. I know. He's still on the board.
I know, and so is the other person that is the grand finale where we're going to put Kurt on our lineup.
Exactly. So,
but I think Grohl would also be a pole vaulter. Him and Matt Cameron.
Grohl is crazy. He's a crazy bastard. He's fearless.
Nirvana Grohl is.
That's true because you could draft Nirvana Grohl, but also Foo Fighters Grohl. There's a little bit of a difference there. I mean, and if Jerry Cantrell is our team captain, I think Dave Grohl would probably be the alternate captain. Just because of his experiences and everything. But I mean,
looking at the list you sent, I bet you that Dave Grohl could be, I think a really good handball player.
You think so? Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, because of the way he flails his arms, as a drummer, and so, he would put his, cymbals up really high, so he'd have to, reach up. Yeah. I think he's got some good shoulder action.
And he's certainly, with Dave Grohl, you don't have to worry about, competitive nature. I think Dave would be able to hop into anything. And another sport that comes to mind for Dave, and this might be a little out there, but I think I would feel okay about sticking him into the judo competition.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, I was literally going to say, judo or fencing. I could see him like, I don't know why. I just think
Grohl would thrive at those things that are a little bit out of the mainstream. You know, he'd make them his own, and he'd bring a lot of attitude to it. And I mean, I just think he would be the perfect pick for something like that. So he's another guy that, you know, a utility player.
Yeah, they're both. It's because it's one-on-one. You know what I mean? I think that's that's good. I like that. I like those picks for Dave Grohl.
Absolutely. So the other, you know, large fish that's still on the board is Kurt Cobain. I don't think we've tabbed him for anything yet. And
should we? Should we do that now, or should we? Yeah, we'll do it now.
He's difficult to place because, you know, so much of Kurt's brand, if you want to call it that, lowercase b, would be, I mean, just being so utterly disinterested with so many things. And I know, you know, he's on record as, you know, saying how turned off he was just by like the whole hyper masculine thing in sports, you know, for better, for worse, can often be that. But I do think, you know, beneath all of that, you know, I think he would be best in a team atmosphere, I think. You know, so maybe we could stick him on a soccer field or something like that. I think he might be a good midfielder because once again, I mean, a midfielder, you're distributing the ball, and Kurt, you know, at least what he said, you know, he didn't love being in the spotlight, for example. So I mean, he wouldn't be a forward, he wouldn't be a striker scoring all the goals. I could see him a little bit more of a behind the scenes action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm not sold on that. Kurt on the pitch.
I for some reason I feel like two things. One, I know he doesn't like to be in the mainstream, but I feel like he wouldn't necessarily. Well, originally I thought that he could be the head cheerleader, and there's no Olympic event for cheerleading. But I feel like he would love to be a part of the team, but he would defer all of his events and just be. He would be like I don't know, lead the cheer squad and would love it.
Could be the athletic trainer too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think that he would carry out the scenes. I think he would carry out the flag and maybe even light the torch.
Yeah,
you know, I think he would do the other stuffs, but I don't. I don't think that
and
he
just
would
be so utterly disinterested by the act of competition. And Kurt was interesting too, because I mean, what he said about, you know, not buying into that and not wanting to be at the center of attention. But I mean, I've heard a lot of people, you know, compare and contrast what he said with, you know, the trajectory that the band took, and, you know, some of the things that Kurt obviously did to get there. I think there's a lot, you know, inside everybody. There's something inside everybody that, you know, wants to explore fame and, you know, at least maybe experience it. So I truthfully don't know how much of it, you know, he hated, or, you know, if he hated being a commercial success, for example. I mean, you don't have control over it after a time, but yeah, I think out of everybody, he's the hardest one to find a place for. Yeah, it's just really tough to find.
Yeah,
because I don't see him as a sprinter, or
I can't see him running. I can't picture the man running.
Yeah. What do you think about Pat Smear?
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, Pat Smear was in Nirvana, man.
Pat Smear, people forget Pat Smear was in Nirvana.
People forget.
Oh man, what could Pat Smear do better than everybody?
I think Pat Smear would be a hell of a tennis player.
Yeah.
I could see him in there. Maybe doubles, like Pat Smear with Kurt or something like that. You get a doubles match, or golf, you know. Because
I could see him golf.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, that's. I mean, he's got to have a place somewhere.
Yeah, maybe on a horse, maybe equestrian.
Yeah.
Pat Smear, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
He's a wild card. You don't know. You just don't know. You don't know with him. So two events that we haven't gotten to, and as the resident javelin thrower, and quite a good one at that rate, I want to get your opinion. If you could draft somebody to be a javelin thrower from the world of grunge rock, is there somebody that comes to mind that you just think would have it? Because you obviously you know the event very well. You've thrown it for many, many years at this point, and it's, you know, javelin it's a unique combination, obviously, of speed, strength, acceleration, precision, you know, technical acuity.
Yeah. This is a difficult one. So I mean, you look for it all around. Let's see, we need an all around athlete, so an all-around musician, or somebody with really crazy good energy. I'm saying, let's see, or it's tough. First thought, because you said him earlier, I did think maybe Ben Shepard, because he's 6'4". I just looked that up. He's 6'4", so he's pretty tall. These bassists are tall.
They are.
That's tough. I feel like, Ben Shepard would be pretty good because they play some really heavy music. I don't know. That's tough. Who did you think for javelin? I'm sorry not to give some a grandiose perfect answer for this one, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah, something's calling me back to the Pearl Jam camp. I'd like to get a javelin in Mike Mccready's hand, or maybe Stone Gossard's hand.
Okay.
I think a young Stone Gossard. You put Stone in '92.
Yeah.
At the Barcelona Olympics in 1992, and maybe he's pushing Jan Zelezny a little bit.
He'd have to compete against Jan Zelezny. I really I just blanked. I just had somebody. Crap. Anyway, yeah, that would be pretty. I could see him being a pretty solid jab thrower.
Absolutely, and
it's really. I'm gonna remember who I was just thinking of and then go, but I'm assuming we're gonna move over to the hammer now.
Yes, and I already know. So I was a hammer thrower. I threw the hammer for 8 years, in case anybody listening does not know. And it's a little bit more of an esoteric event, obviously. It doesn't get much of the spotlight or anything. But if there's one individual that I have my utmost confidence in to be a hammer thrower and to be a good one, I am moving over to a man who was born in Amarillo, Texas in 1959. And he goes by the name of Kirkwood, who is the front man for the Brothers Meat, the Meat Puppets.
Yeah.
Something I think Kurt or his brother Chris, the Brothers Meat. I think you plug them in the hammer throw, and great things will happen. I just think the Meat Puppets are the perfect combination. I mean, we've seen him tear the doors off, with their electric stuff, and then when they joined Nirvana at Unplugged, for example, they know how to tone it down. They know how to be precise. And the hammer throw is one of those events where, at the beginning of your attempt, you have to be very precise and, kind of build and, save the best for later. And, obviously they know how to throw their weight around and bang with the best of them. So I think either of the Brothers Meat would be my selection.
Brothers Meat. That's awesome.
I think we'd have to put them in.
Yeah, it's a perfect pick, and I'm glad you brought those guys into the mix.
They deserve their place at the table at the Olympics.
That's amazing.
They're unsung heroes.
Yeah, as for the hammer, what were the brothers' names for the Screaming Trees again?
I think Gary. Drew, cut this out while I find this out, because I should probably know this.
You said them earlier, right?
No, I just said the Connor brothers. Oh yeah, Gary Lee and then Van Connor.
So you picked the. Okay,
so yeah, I picked them for the shot put.
You can just say the Connor brothers, but
yeah. All right, so we're gonna cut all that and then. Yeah, so it was Gary Lee and then Van Connor. So they were the two Connor brothers that formed the Screaming Trees. I think you could plug them into any of the throwing events, to be honest with you. Maybe not the javelin.
Yeah, I think I like the hammer, like the Hammer Bros. Like you pick the Brothers Meat and go the Connor brothers. Maybe even get the Stone Temple Pilot, the DeLeo.
Dean and Robert DeLeo.
Yeah, Dean and Robert. Yeah, I was thinking for javelin though. I think that Scott Weiland could be a javelin thrower.
He could be. I mean, he was certainly flexible enough. He was flexible enough based off of his dance moves.
The flair, the body movement, his ability to kind of just kind of I don't know, front man.
And he played football in high school, so he probably has a big arm.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that Scott Weiland is going to be our javelin thrower for the team.
Yeah, I think that's great. I like that a lot.
I think he has the tenacity, he has the intensity you need, because it's not for the faint of heart. It's a difficult event, so I'm thinking that he'd be really solid.
Absolutely. So the grand finale of this exercise is the pinnacle, because this is where we get to put the bands up against one another, and that would be the 4x400 meter relay on the track.
Yes.
If you could,
The last event of the Olympics, the last event of all the track meets, it's the 4x400, and it's a big team event. You always have to have a really strong starter, a good middle two, and then you got to have a closer and anchor. And so we're gonna do what band would make up the best team.
yes, which band?
Okay.
And I think for me, unless you can convince me otherwise, I think the front runners have to be Soundgarden. I mean, I think you have Kim, Ben, Matt, and Chris all together. I could really see Chris leading things off, and I think Kim. Kim is just an assassin. I think Kim would be the anchor. I mean, you've seen him before. He's got ice water in his veins. When he's up there just ripping solos, he just stands there like a statue and just tears things open. So I think I'd put Chris to lead things off. Then I'd probably have Chris hand off to Matt, and then Matt would go to the third leg, which would be Ben. Just chaos everywhere, and Ben would be the wild card. Because he could either run off course a little bit and fall behind because he's not being efficient with his movements, and then when you hand that baton off to Kim, I think Kim really brings things home. So
Takes it home.
I think Soundgarden would be my pick in the grunge 4x400 meter relay.
That's good. It's a good pick. I like it. I understand why you picked them, obviously. So for my pick, I thought about another one that kind of just gut reaction. And I just think when you got a 4x4 team, everybody's got to be close, and you got to be, I don't know. There's got to be good chemistry,
Trust,
good meshing.
Those exchanges,
and just the fact that. So, I'm going with Pearl Jam.
Okay.
Mainly because I just think that the two times that we've seen them, they're just the chemistry on stage and the way they deliver. They're still playing live music. Obviously they're all still just crushing it instrumentally, and they're
Which
just playing
drummer?
Beautifully.
Probably not Dave Abbruzzese, since there was not much chemistry there.
I'm
probably
Matt
Cameron. Yeah.
I was thinking present tense, PJ.
Absolutely.
the present PJ.
Because obviously, Pearl Jam's deep enough that you have five
With
members
Boom.
plus Boom as the alternate.
Like
if Eddie Vedder pops a hamstring warming up, you put Boom Gasper in coming down that final turn.
Well, Boom is running in the preliminary, so he can earn his medal.
Absolutely.
And I'd probably
save
put
Jeff Amon's legs a little bit.
Yeah, I'd probably put Eddie as the anchor. I think
so,
that makes sense. Yeah, I put the star at the end of the show.
Yeah, I think Stone would probably be a great lead off there.
You think Stone?
Yeah, I think so. He's not gonna blow you away, but you're always because they don't let him solo. Obviously, that's up to Mike. Stone is there to do a job, and he always does it. He's not gonna. He has
the best start. He has the best start.
Absolutely. You start a Pearl Jam concert with Stone leading into Release. That's the same thing. I think he could go in there and he'll split you 46 every single time.
Yeah. All right, I liked it.
Yeah, I think that's good. So
who wins?
Who wins?
Pearl Jam, or Soundgarden in a 4x4. The other two would be great, obviously, but I don't know. I think it would be. It depends. It depends where they're competing.
Depends where they're competing. It also depends when. I don't know. For example, if you put 1994 Soundgarden up against 2020 Pearl Jam, Soundgarden's going to run in circles around them.
Yeah, you're right.
But if
you're right.
You take all of these individuals at their pinnacle, whether it be 91, 92, 94, like if you're of the opinion that they're at their best now, 2021, it doesn't matter. Whoever they were when they were their best selves, you put them together, all other conditions being equal. I don't know, man. I just have too much confidence in Kim to bring it home and the anchor. I think they'd be neck and neck. So you're saying it comes down to Kim Thiel versus Eddie Vedder in the final leg, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you've swayed me. I'm just picturing I'm picturing those four guys lining up against Pearl Jam's 4 guys, and I'm intimidated by Soundgarden.
Well, because Chris would probably be one of the stronger runners, so I mean, he could probably split you. I mean, if he's on, he could probably split
43.
You. He could split you 44 mid maybe, and I mean, Stone's not going to split that. So coming in that first exchange, you're gonna have Chris is going to hand off to Matt Cameron. I mean, they're going to be several stride lengths ahead.
Is Matt Cameron on both both teams?
We're going to bend time and space to make this happen.
Matt Cameron's on both teams.
He's working double time, so he doesn't give a shit who wins, obviously.
Yeah.
And the only wild card would be, I don't know who you have running the third leg for Pearl Jam. Ben Shepard is just the wild card. I just don't know what I'm going to get out of him. I mean, I think Matt Cameron is going to do everything that he can. He's going to be consistent. I just don't know if Ben's going to focus enough on the exchange. He could lose some ground there, and I don't think Ben Mccready versus Shepard and
I guess
for the third leg.
Even though I think Mccready would be a good opener, but I mean we already picked Stone for the opener.
So you're going Gossard to Cameron to Mccready to Vetter.
Well, is Cameron your second leg as well?
I guess he has. Yeah, he is.
yeah. Those two guys they cancel.
So they cancel
each
other out, so it doesn't matter. So I still think in that case, Chris Cornell is going to give you a lead over Stone Gossard.
Yeah, he has to.
And then all other things being equal, that time disparity is going to remain the same because it's Matt Cameron. So if he's a second and a half behind, it's going to come down to Mike Mccready versus Ben Shepard. And I think it depends on the day with Ben. I don't think he would be the most disciplined in the lane, just as he wasn't the most disciplined. So you run the chance of getting DQ'd
and you got
running
McCready,
out of the exchange zone. Yeah.
I think McCready makes it up.
But then you have Mike Mccready, who spends most of his time playing with his eyes closed. Does he know the track? Does he know the track that well?
Does he know? Yeah. Does he know where he's going out there?
See, I mean, both of their skill sets are.
It sounds like they're handing off at pretty much dead even.
Yeah. So
we got
it just depends. So
but
I think
you picked Kim for a killer. There's a reason. There's a reason they're both the anchors.
There's a reason why Eddie Vedder and Kim Thiel are the anchors to this relay, and I don't know. I mean, I just think something about Kim and his demeanor. He's the kind of guy that you don't want to fuck with. You know, like he's not.
No.
He's not. I mean, Eddie's all over the place, high energy. Kim's that kind of guy that before the meet, he's not talking to anybody. He's not talking to anyone. He's not looking at anybody. He's not using.
And he'd rather die on the track than lose.
Exactly.
that guy's prepared.
I don't think you want to give Kim Thiel any type of bulletin board material. I don't think you don't want to talk trash to him because I think you're going to regret it. And Eddie Vedder, especially if Eddie Vedder had contested in the gymnastics competition maybe a few days beforehand, and I think Kim would just be cold-blooded. So do we think Soundgarden wins the grunge relay?
I think that I think it makes sense.
I think so too.
It's close. It's very close.
Yeah, it would be very close, and I do think.
I wonder what these guys would actually run.
I don't know. See, if I had that type of clout, like if I worked
what do you think you could run a 400?
I did run a 400. I ran a.
You did a time trial?
I did a 400. So a couple of weeks ago, for marathon prep, I had a speed day. So I did.
Let me guess the time.
I did 2 by 800 and then 2 by 400. So if you want to guess my 800 meter time, and then if you want to guess my 400 meter time,
I don't want to offend you.
No, absolutely. Go ahead and offend me. It's fine.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think of your miles times. Remember, I think that you ran a half mile in 2:20.
Is that supposed to insult me?
No, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a good bit better. My 800 time was 2:39.
2:39. Okay, I was thinking maybe you got after it, but I don't know why you would get after it. Yeah, that would be not. That's not
my
very
mile
insulting.
time is 5:54. So,
yeah, and I was trying to think. I guess that's about 2:30. And then for your 400, I was gonna say probably. Did you get under 70?
I wanted to.
72?
I came in 72. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So my first rep was 81, and then I had to give myself a stern talking to, and
simply unacceptable, Chris.
I would be interested if I actually trained to see how fast I could run a 400, and I think I could definitely get under 70.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think that I love every time that when people talk about track and field. I just want people to go out and run one lap around the track as hard as they can.
Yes.
And just see what it feels like and see what kind of time you get, and then compare it. I think that
it's humbling. It's very humbling.
It's extremely humbling.
Well, even from my perspective, and this is something that I thought about after I time trialed these two distances. You know, I've spent the last 12 years of my life, you know, heavily invested into track and field, and I know a lot of high level athletes, you know, national champions, national qualifiers, Olympians, you know, what have you, and I'm familiar with what they do. But you know, having attempted a 400 meter and having almost spilled my guts trying to run it in 72, it's crazy to think about. In college, for example, as a 400 meter runner, you get cut if you're running a 49.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the program.
Yeah, and I just want to put it on the record that my hamstrings hurt thinking about running a full lap around the track. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I haven't trained in 2 weeks running disciplines, but like, oh my gosh, my hamstrings would explode. I mean, they always lock up running that distance and that intensity.
If you're running it the right way, I mean, there's going to be an immense amount of fatigue at the end, obviously, you know, with any of these events. It'd be interesting. I know this is an extension, but today, right now, which member of Pearl Jam would run the fastest 400 meter sprint?
I
think the youngest one is probably like 56. I think Eddie might be the youngest. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Eddie probably is. I have no idea. Probably Bronson Arroyo. No, I'm just kidding. Eddie. I think Eddie.
I think it would have to be Eddie. I just can't see any of the other ones, you know, being able to move like that. I frankly can't see Eddie being able to move like that. I could see Eddie coming in with like a, I don't know. I think he could run a 96, 95 maybe. If you gave him a week to get ready for it. But I'm interested to see. I'm hopeful. We get a lot of great feedback about this podcast, but you know, more than any other time throughout the run of this podcast, this is when I want the feedback. I want to know what people think in terms of that 4x400 meter relay. Who they think would be able to, which band would be able to bring it home. You know, maybe we have some Stone Temple Pilots fans out there that might think, you know, Eric Kretz would be a great anchor. You know, maybe, who knows, maybe there's some Creed individuals out there who think Scott Stapp, you know, would be able to do that with Jason Tremonti, for example, or, you know, maybe Nirvana and Pat Smear could be the X Factor. You just never know. You just don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be, you know, Slipknot, Joey Jordison.
The late, great Joey Jordison. Yeah, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
Be interesting.
I know. This was a fun practice, and I actually was thinking about, like, other bands and other eras and whatnot, and it's always fun to kind of...
wonder who the most athletic band of all time was, for example.
Yeah. Maybe that's another episode sometime.
Yeah, maybe when we run out of ideas. But if you're with us,
it's always fun.
Yeah. If you're with us to this point, I don't really know what else there is to say.
No. We did it again, Chris. We went for like a 30-minute episode.
Yeah, we're rolling on about an hour now. So
sorry, Drew.
If you're still with us, you must love us, and obviously we love you. If you sat through that discussion. You know, we're grateful for your support, and you can head over to grungebible.com to find all of the extraneous links, you know, through which to show your support. But before we wrap it up, or I guess to wrap it up, we'll get some songs of the week out there on the record. And I'll just start off right away with mine. So my song of the week, I'll just get right to it. And I posted this band earlier today on Grunge Bible, and my song of the week would be "The Blankets Were the Stairs" by Sunny Day Real Estate. So Sunny Day Real Estate is a band that had at the time future and now currently former members of the Foo Fighters, including Nate Mendel and William Goldsmith. So this song is off of their 1994 album called Diary, and I believe the most popular song from that band's history was In Circles, which is what I posted today. But yeah, just kind of like that weird alternative, you know, post-grunge, I guess, if you want to call it. I hate that term, though, and I hate the fact that I'm using it. But they're like weird alternative, like with a hint of emo kind of thing going on. Sunny Day of Real Estate is, one of those bands that had, knew how to bring that sound to you. It's like if the Smashing Pumpkins got like three helpings of emo and just like tossed it on there, I guess. Yeah. If I were to call it that. But that's my song of the week. The Blankets Were the Stairs by Sunny Day Real Estate.
It's a great song title, and I love that. I love that music of the times. That's like
super overlooked, and I tend to overlook it a lot too, since I spend most of my time pre-1994 for better or for worse.
What is it? What's the best way to describe it? I believe it's shorts plus cargo socks equals fire. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Shorts, low top Converses plus cargo socks. Yeah, knee
socks. I was like, what the hell? And shorts plus knee socks equal fire.
Usually a shaved head and then like a giant like puka shell necklace. That's the look that we're going for. Playing a Fender Jaguar or something like that, or an Offset Jazzmaster.
All right, my song of the week. So I've been playing some more disc golf lately, as I usually do. Once my season ends, I get out and play disc golf quite frequently.
Note, how offended do you get when people call it frisbee golf or frolf?
I get pretty offended. It's my right to be offended. I just assume. Actually, I don't really get that offended, but I do correct people. How about that?
Okay, that's fair. You're very forceful with your corrections, because I've been around when someone's made that mistake.
Yeah, I just think that I take it very seriously. Me and my brothers play pretty competitively, and I just, it's just like Christopher McCandless said. Everything should be called by its rightful name, or whatever he says at the end.
Absolutely.
Everything should be called by its rightful name. So
that's why it's named in the first place.
That's exactly right. So
you've been playing a lot of disc golf lately. Yeah.
As I usually do once the season ends, it's my active recovery. A lot of hiking, a lot of good fun, and what we always listen to kind of reggae rap and like Sublime, Pepper, Dirty Heads, all them. So and it's usually my summer playlist as well. That I love like listening on the beach. So So I've been listening to a lot of playlists by Pepper, and my song of the week is going to be Set Sail by The Movement. And it's just a great, beautiful song, just super catchy, really fun to listen to and enjoy a good light beer on the beach if you can. That's what I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go to the Outer Banks, and it's just a really good, feel-good song, and you can kind of sing to it. So, and it's just reggae rock, and it's beautiful. Love it. Been listening to a lot of Sublime recently too, man. It's so good.
Right on. That's some good stuff.
I'll put those songs on the list, and we'll put them up. I hope you guys are following that playlist. I don't know if anybody is, but it's fun to compile it. Have you listened to the playlist?
I have, I had it downloaded on my phone. I listen to it frequently. It's great. There's a lot of variety on there, which is what I appreciate, because I think, our musical interests have a lot of variety, much to the chagrin of the grunge purists out there, but nevertheless.
Awesome.
Well, I think that
pretty much does it. Yeah, that pretty much does it. One last shout out, as we usually do. Drew, thank you for putting up with us and doing another long pod. We'll get this to you tonight. We love you. Chris, any other shout outs? Any other things you want to mention before we head off to watch the men's Shotput final?
No, that's about it. I'm excited tonight. Looking for a great performance from the three Americans that are in the competition. Ryan Krauser, Joe Kovacs, and Peyton Otterdahl. We're definitely excited for that. It'd be sweet if they could sweep the medal stand, but Tom Walsh, obviously, from New Zealand, is in the mix. But I'm excited for that. Otherwise, looking forward to catching up with everybody next week when we are another week older. Maybe not another week wiser, probably another week dumber, but that's just the way she goes.
Yeah, the good times are killing us, Chris.
The good times are going for the jugular. We're going to try to hold them off just a little bit longer.
You got a big weekend. We're excited to check in next week and see
Absolutely.
what you
Hopefully I'll have 2 shows under my belt. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, friends, I think that'll do it, and we will catch you guys next week.
Thank you. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Rock and roll.